All right, let's see if this works today. The podcast I recorded yesterday, if you listened to the audio version last week, episode 29, the audio just didn't record. So I had to do this whole screen recording thing and it did not sound great, but I don't know what happened. I truly don't know what happened. So we're going to do another test today. And even though the test works last time, we're going to make sure it's working again today. No idea. Okay, everything worked, so I'm literally not changing anything. I'm not unplugging anything. Let's hope this works. All right, everybody, welcome back to the last episode of season 3, episode 30. It's almost weird to think about that I am 30 episodes in for a project that I only started I don't know, a few months ago, 6 months ago. And it just goes to show you, if you truly want to get something done, you will do it. And it doesn't matter if fears or doubts stand in your way, just take those action steps and you will make it happen. So this was something that I wanted to do for a while. And one day I was like, all right, what am I waiting for? And I just decided to do it, which is actually the perfect segue into today's topic for this episode, the last episode of season 3 before a little 4-week break. We're going to talk about self-sabotage. And this is another one that you all asked for on Instagram when I did a little poll. Several of you voted for self-sabotage and how to overcome it and how to kind of reflect on it. And self-sabotage is basically standing in our own way. And we have to be able to recognize that. We have to be able to look within at ourselves, take accountability, and understand that our life is our decision. Where we are today is a result of thousands or millions of decisions we have made. Yes, certain things happen to us, but how we respond is our decision. And a lot of the times things can go down one path or another path. So it's all about looking which path do you want to go down in your life? And that is entirely up to you. Other circumstances aside, because there's always going to be things that life throws our way. And we have to just roll with the punches, do the best that we can, make sure we're processing our feelings and dealing with situations. But ultimately, if we want to go down a certain path, that is entirely up to us and the decisions that we make. So just recognizing that and being aware that we are in charge of our own lives and that we are the ones standing in our own way. If we truly desire something, if we truly want to achieve a goal or anything in our life that's important to us, if it's not happening, it's because of us. It's because we are standing in our own way. So when we are in a situation that we are not happy with, we have to be willing to look within. We can't blame anyone around us. We can't blame situations. We have to be willing to look within and understand that we are the ones who are going to get us out of this situation. So if we desire to get out of it and have a change of pace in life, we have to be the ones to take action. And it's freeing in a way when you realize that it's all up to you, because you stop looking for solutions externally and you start looking within and knowing that you can make it happen and it is possible. And desires start to feel possible rather than daunting. And it all just kind of breaks down to one step at a time anyways. So if something seems really far off, it's okay. Just take it one step at a time. That's how literally anyone in their life in history has gotten something done, is by doing it step by step. So it really takes the intimidation factor out of it. So let's talk a little bit about how self-sabotage shows up, because it can show up in a variety of different ways. We are all unique humans and it will show up differently for each of us. So some that are pretty common is slapping a Band-Aid on anything that's coming up internally that is something that you're struggling with, and you are either refusing to look at it and reflect on it and try to find the actual root of the cause or find the solution to the root problem, and you're just slapping a Band-Aid on it and it keeps coming back time and time again. That is a form of self-sabotage. trying the same thing over and over. We all know that quote about insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That is insanity. We cannot keep doing the same thing day in and day out, not getting the result we want, but hoping for a different result. That's truly insanity. Being closed-minded, that is absolutely a form of self-sabotage. I have talked to many people who it's like they refuse to open their mind to other approaches, whether it has to do with their fitness journey, their goals, anything in life, setting boundaries with people, putting themselves first. They refuse to be open-minded and trying new things. And that is absolutely a form of self-sabotage. Blaming others, victim mentality, that's a freaking huge one. And again, it comes back to looking within at yourself and realizing that you have to be the one to change, or you have to be the one to change the situation. No one's going to do it for you. So blaming others and playing the victim is just a form of self-sabotage, because you're literally standing in your way of growing and healing and moving forward in life in the way that you desire, or going down that path that you desire to go down. Not planning ahead for your priorities. If you're not planning ahead, but you are always feeling like you're behind, or you can never put your goals at the forefront of your week because, again, you did not plan ahead, you didn't prepare anything in advance, you didn't prioritize your goals or things that are important to you, that is a form of self-sabotage, because you're not helping yourself out. Being in denial that there's anything that you need to change, or being in denial that you need to be the one to show up for yourself, that's a form of self-sabotage. Letting others' expectations influence you, feeling obligated to other people, not putting yourself first, making your decisions based off of what other people want or feel like they need from you, and they're expecting you to put them first over yourself, and you choosing to do that, that's a form of self-sabotage. Making excuses about time, priorities. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time in my schedule. All of that is a form of self-sabotage. So those are just a few examples. I'm sure there's many that I'm not thinking of that I've even dealt with myself that just aren't coming to mind right now. But I feel like these are definitely very, very common forms of self-sabotage. And maybe some of them you didn't realize were forms of self-sabotage. So hopefully that was helpful to you. And maybe some stung a little bit and made you reflect a little bit on how you experience self-sabotage in your own life. So all of that to say that there's always a way to show up. Even if you're going through different stages in life and things are feeling chaotic as hell and you feel like you don't have any time for yourself, it is up to you to create that time. And I'm not just talking about like workouts or meal planning. I'm talking about like time to focus on you, self-care time, self-love time. Because if you don't have any time carved out for yourself and you're always giving to others, or you're always being a busybody, then you're going to burn out. Like, you cannot sustain that. And that is a form of self-sabotage. So whether it's 2 minutes in the morning taking deep breaths before you start your day, or whether it's an hour workout in the middle of your day, and everything in between, you need time to yourself. You need time for self-care. You need time for self-love, or you will burn out. And that is sabotaging yourself. That is sabotaging everything that you're desiring in life. That is sabotaging all of your goals, everything that you want to achieve, and just the way that you want to live your daily life. That's sabotaging the feelings that you want to feel on a daily basis. And it can't go on forever. So you have to eventually say, okay, what can I do to put a stop to this? What can I do to get the feelings that I want to feel? Like, how can I show up for myself in the tiniest way, so that eventually when I do have more time, or things settle down a little bit, or maybe I set boundaries a little bit better, I'm able to show up for myself even more. But in all of the chaos, through all the hectic things life throws our way, how can you show up for yourself in even the tiniest little way? Because it does make a big difference. Instead of saying, screw it, I'm drowning, and there's just no getting out of this, and I guess this is just how life is. No, you have to take your life into your own hands and make it a priority. Set aside time for yourself. It has to be you who makes that change. So if you are not experiencing the daily life that you want, or you're not hitting the goals that you really, really want to hit, it has to be up to you to change something. And then slowly you start working through those self-sabotaging behaviors and you start reflecting on them more. You start digging deep a little bit more so you can see where the root cause of this self-sabotaging behavior comes from. And you start working through it instead of slapping a band-aid on it or feeling good for a few days and then feeling burnt out for 2 months. So it has to be something that you can sustain. And it all starts with taking little baby steps to putting yourself first and carving out that time for yourself. So one thing I want you to do, if you can relate to any of this or any of those self-sabotaging behaviors kind of triggered something in you and you're like, yep, that's me, like I definitely do that, then I want you to stop for a second and think. If there are goals that are always like kind of dwelling over you and you are just hard on yourself for not putting them as a priority, or you feel like life is just crazy right now or always has been and you keep waiting for it to slow down, I want you to pause. If you have not been able to prioritize the things that you truly want to achieve in your life, or even just the feelings you want to feel on a daily basis, doesn't have to be some like life-shattering goal, just something that you want to achieve daily, or a feeling you want to have of like peace, contentment, happiness, fulfillment, whatever it is. If you have not been able to prioritize that, I want you to stop and ask yourself why. And try to come in with like no judgment for yourself, no shame, no guilt, and just like take a step back and just let yourself reflect. And you can journal on it, you can meditate on it, you can sit outside, you can go for a walk and kind of take some deep breaths and see what comes up for you. But don't do this in 2 minutes. Like I want you to really take the time, maybe as soon as this episode is over or as soon as you have a break, ask yourself why you have not created the time for yourself or not prioritized your goals or not put yourself first so that you're able to achieve the things that you want to achieve in this life. Like what is holding you back? What self-sabotaging behaviors are you experiencing? Why have you not taken action yet? And again, come at it from a neutral lens, like no judgments for yourself. Pretend like it's not you, like you're trying to help a friend or something and you're examining everything that they are saying to you. Like just let it flow and see what comes up. And I guarantee it's going to be very eye-opening. And again, I don't want you to judge yourself. Just see what you can find out about yourself, because a lot of the times, this is not stuff that's like going through our head. We're more just hard on ourselves, but we're not actually understanding why we're not showing up for ourselves. So if you can start uncovering and peeling back those layers of why you have not been able to show up for yourself, you're able to start working through that and hopefully making the changes that you need to make. So again, you're not brushing something under the rug and you're able to actually start working through this and show up for yourself and start working towards the life that you want to have. So ask yourself why, just why, and then reflect on it. Like I said, you could take a walk and then maybe come back and journal or put on some nice relaxing music and a candle and just let yourself journal or meditate and see what comes up for you, because nothing is going to change no matter how motivated you get unless you're willing to look within at why you are where you are. We cannot blame anything. We can't blame anything in life, anyone. Our life is up to us. So I hope you do that. And it's something I look at within myself when I'm not achieving something. And it is really eye-opening. And it does take a lot of reflection. And sometimes it takes a while for myself to open up. But once I do, I start getting clarity. And then it's way easier to start taking steps forward towards what I actually want. So once you've done a little reflecting, and again, don't do this in 2 minutes, don't rush, give yourself the time. This is so needed. This is not going to be something that's uncovered in 10 minutes. Like, if you need to do this for several days, like, give yourself the time, because you will thank yourself down the road. But if you try to rush through it, or again, just slap that band-aid on it, it's going to come back with a vengeance. So after you do some reflection, I want you to think of one tiny action step you can do today that you can actually commit to and get done without overthinking it, that is working towards one of your top goals. It doesn't matter how far off that end goal seems, it has to start somewhere. So take the tiniest little baby step today, even if it's doing a Google search or printing something out or making a list. Like, do some sort of little tiny step. Get up and do one push-up, like anything at all. Eat one piece of broccoli. Like, I'm dead serious when I say baby step, because it has to be realistic. And the more you can show up for yourself with those tiny little realistic steps, no matter how small they may seem, that's going to be what creates consistency and creates that compound effect that adds up over time. But if you stay stuck in your self-sabotaging behaviors, you're going to stay stuck exactly where you are. So take those little tiny baby steps. Even if it feels like you're going nowhere, I promise you they're adding up to results towards your end goals. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is the end of season 3. I am so excited. I love everything I've talked about in the last 3 seasons, and I think I'm coming in with a little bit of a new approach for season 4. So I'm excited to explore that and kind of come up with a different format. I have some ideas, so stay tuned. They'll be released in about 4 weeks. But I just want to mention one more time that if you are ready to absolutely own your fitness journey, your nutrition journey, your next chapter in life, then sign up for my 6-month one-on-one journey, The Next Chapter Evolution. This is a program that has helped people literally change their lives. And this episode is perfect to talk about it, because you will be uncovering all your self-sabotaging behaviors. You'll be rewiring any limiting beliefs or fears you have about moving forward, or you have about yourself, or any doubts that you have. You will be working through all of that. And you're going to be rooted in so much self-love, and it's going to change your fitness journey in a way that you never thought your journey would change, or that you ever thought was possible. So it is a whole revamp of your body, your mind, your life, and it's incredible. So schedule an application call so that we can go over things together, or you can apply. I'll put all the links below for the application call or the application form for the Next Chapter Evolution. You've got nothing to lose. So if you are tired of standing in your own way, this is the program for you. You've got nothing to lose by applying. Literally nothing to lose. Like, there's no fee for applying. You're not committing to paying for the program. I am not a salesy person. I'm not someone who pressures people into joining programs. Like, that is not me. So all we are going to do is chat. Or if you just want to start with the application form and see if it resonates, start with the application form. And then I can always reach out to you to schedule a call to see if it's a good fit for you once I review your application. So I'll leave it at that. And I'm so excited to see where Create Your Own Truth goes from here. I'm very excited for a new kind of format for season 4 at least. And thank you so much for listening from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if it's one person I'm helping, 10 people, 50 people. It doesn't matter to me as long as one person is getting something out of this. And honestly, I get something out of recording all of these, because this is a never-ending journey. If you listened to last week's episode, you'll know that. And these are always things I need reminders of as well. There's always things I'm working through. So even if there's something that works for me, it's still something I'm probably working through and that I know others can relate to as well, and it will benefit them. So I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to you, and we are in this together, and let's create our own truth. Thank you so much for listening. See you for season 4.